I want to start right off the bat by saying this because I've thought a lot about it. And in recent shows, I have praised Marjorie Taylor Greene for at least being on the right side when it comes to these Epstein files. And we're going to get to more of the Epstein files and why Donald Trump now is telling Republicans to vote yes to release the files. There's a very logical explanation for that. But I am not going to sit here and praise Marjorie Taylor Greene anymore. First of all, we shouldn't have to be praising anybody for wanting the Epstein files released and victims getting justice. We shouldn't have to praise people for that. That's number one. Number two, where was Marjorie Taylor Greene? Because now she's crying victim. She's crying about the vicious attacks she's received and the threats that she's received, some of them death threats, which, by the way, I don't condone. Where was she when they were yelling out and chanting, "Hang Mike Pence"? Did you see what Donald Trump did to Mike Pence? By the way, Mike Pence, another enabler that I will never, ever defend. Where was Marjorie Taylor Greene when Donald Trump was attacking Gold Star families? Where was Marjorie Taylor Greene when literally Democrats and even some Republicans were getting death threats because of Donald Trump's rhetoric? Where has Marjorie Taylor Greene for the last 9 years? Where's she been? I am not going to sit here and praise Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is a phony, and she is one of the reasons why Donald Trump is in the position he's in now and why the country's in a position that it's in now. And now all of a sudden Marjorie's saying, well, my kids' premiums and health care is going to go way up. Where the hell were you for the last 9 years when Donald Trump was saying there was going to be a replacement plan? But now all of a sudden, I'll tell you why. Because you knew that Donald Trump was not going to back you for re-election. You knew it. You knew it. Where were you then? Where have you been, Marjorie? Really, I want to know. Where have you been? Now, all of a sudden, Marjorie, we're supposed to feel sorry for you? Where were you on January 6th? You defended those who beat police officers with their own batons. And now we're supposed to feel sorry for you? So let me be very clear here. I do not feel 1 ounce, not one ounce of feeling any sorrow for Marjorie Taylor Greene. She reaps what she sows. She has enabled and defended Donald Trump for years. I don't feel sorry for her one bit. She's part of the reason why we're in this situation now. While I don't condone any death threats, I don't condone any of the harassment, I'm also going to say I don't feel sorry for her at all. Does this have anything to do with the fact that he wasn't going to back her, or is this genuine with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Because I know she's apologized and she said, you know, I take responsibility for all the rhetoric in the past. Do you believe she's genuine? Thomas Massie, let's talk about him for a moment and all the attacks, even Laura Loomer alleging that maybe Massie might have had something to do with his wife's death. You have Donald Trump going out there saying, wow, well, look at how he remarried so fast. And as if Donald Trump should be talking about marriage and vows and that sort of stuff. It's insane. What do you make about the attacks on Massie? And my second part is Marjorie Taylor Greene, which is a whole nother situation with, so many MAGA Republicans going after her, calling her a traitor. Listen, I don't feel sorry for anything that's happening to Marjorie Taylor Greene. But at the same time, any of the death threats she's getting and everything, I'm wondering where she was for the last 9 years when all this happened to Mike Pence and all these other Republicans that didn't agree with Trump on certain issues. But I guess that's a two-part question, but go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I was to take Greene first. I was messaging with her boyfriend back and forth.
Ryan Glenn. Yep.
While he was with her over the weekend when all this went down. And, because Brian's in a tough spot, Brian is the White House correspondent for Real America's Voice. Right. And the reason why he got that gig is because Trump always really liked him and Trump always calls on him. So Brian can be in a press gaggle with 40 reporters and Trump will typically call on him first. I mean, he's always liked Brian. So I guess, that was one of the things we talked about, was the fact of what are you going to do, man? It's going to be hard. You know how vindictive Trump can be, you know.
If you don't mind me asking, I know that's a private conversation, but can you
Yeah.
reveal anything that he said? I mean, you're right, that is a tough spot for him because you want to coddle Trump to get the access for your job.
Yeah.
And listen,
I won't reveal everything we talked about, but I'll say that, you know, forced to take sides. He's taking sides with Greene. I mean, if it comes down to where he has to choose her or his career, he's going with her. I mean, he's prepared to walk away from that if he has to.
interesting.
I'm hoping that he doesn't have to. I mean, he's hoping that he doesn't have to.
I've had private conversations with Brian Glenn. He seems like a nice guy, as you have.
Yeah.
But I obviously don't like the questions that he asks in a lot of these press conferences.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, sure.
But let me ask you this.
He's a full Trump cultist.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't think he's a journalist. That's just my personal opinion. But with that being said, did he have anything to say about what they're doing to Marjorie Taylor Greene? And do you think, Ron,
he's not happy?
Right. I mean, I would imagine he's not happy. Is this an act, or is this just the only reason why Marjorie? My question to you is the only reason why? Okay. Okay. Do you believe that the reason why does this have anything to do with the fact that he wasn't going to back her, or is this genuine with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Because I know she's apologized and she said, you know, I take responsibility for all the rhetoric in the past. Do you believe she's genuine? I guess that's my question. When she apologizes and all this other stuff happened to all these other Republicans, and now all of a sudden she sees the light.
I mean, Margie's position for many years, going back to like when she had her Facebook show in like 2018 and 2019, was always on Epstein. I mean, she was always talking about it because she believed that it was like an Israeli thing where he was like being paid by the Israeli government to compromise prominent U.S. elected officials. But she didn't believe Trump was involved. See, that's the thing. You know, she thought this was all going to be a bunch of Democrats and Wall Street people and media people and globalists and CEOs, you know, and she absolutely never believed that Trump was going to be implicated. She thought that the files were going to exonerate Trump. And so I think that when Trump was so aggressively adamant earlier this year to block these, I think that surprised her. And I think that caused her to reevaluate and reassess her position, which is, why is he fighting me so hard on this? Right. If he has nothing to hide. And I think that really impacted her. So when I say like this, but it's not just that. This has been brewing. This has been building for a while. I mean, Marge, to be very clear, she's not like satisfied and never has been satisfied with just being a backbench representative. Like, she doesn't want to be a Boebert. She has never wanted that. She has always wanted to be senator, to be governor, to be vice president, to be president, you know, or speaker of the House. Like her, like doing 20 years as a backbencher in the House, that's not going to happen. That's not who she is. And so her plan all along was to back McCarthy for speaker, have McCarthy put her in a leadership position in the House, committee chair, something like that, and then parlay that into a Trump endorsement to run against John Ossoff for Senate. That was her career. And then later, you know, be VP or president down the line, 2032, whatever. That was always her plan. And who wrecked that plan was Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump first of all, Matt Gaetz wrecked the plan by getting rid of McCarthy. And for that reason, she ended her friendship with Gaetz. They were close friends. Hell, I went to a rally where it was the two of them together in Florida, Greene and Gaetz together. They went on the road together. That bridge was burned when he ousted McCarthy. And then when Trump refused to endorse her for Senate, I think that was the final straw for her.
But Ron, I have to ask you this. Do you think I'm wrong in saying I don't really feel bad for Marjorie Taylor Greene? I'm happy that she's on the right side. I'm happy that she's been consistent on the Epstein files. I think she was extremely ignorant to not think that Trump had a part in this. The fact that she knew that he was a best friend of his for many, many years. She's seen the videos. Look at what they did to Mike Pence. Look at what they did to all these other Republicans. And she kept quiet. She never, you know, now she's all of a sudden upset because rightfully so. She's getting death threats, and he's doing to her what he did to Pence and all these other people. But my question to her is, where were you for the last 9 years? I understand you like some of his policies, but that's a different conversation. Where were you? Trump's been doing this for years. She's been living under a rock. That's why I don't feel sorry for her, Ron. Am I wrong in feeling that way?
No, I agree with you. I mean, even though I do talk to them and, back and forth, it doesn't mean that we're friends or I agree with them. I mean, I obviously disagree with Brian about a lot of things.
Right.
And he knows that. But I'm very big on compartmentalizing, man. I'm like, that maybe that's the old lifelong Republican in me, that I sort of separate these things out. And I think Democrats more are like, if they're really against you on this one particular issue, they cannot let that go, and so I'm able to sort of like with Loomer and others, just sort of like, okay, anytime Loomer wants to talk about how terrible the Republican Party is, we'll have that conversation. But we don't discuss anything else. We don't discuss Trump. We don't discuss Biden. If she wants to go after some Republican member of Congress, her and I will collaborate on that,
Sure.
But nothing else. So I really do, like on Greene, Ro Khanna and Raskin both came out and invited her to join the Democratic Party. And I'm like, first of all, she's not going to do that, because she could get elected in that Northwest Georgia district for the rest of her life. Trump could run against her in that district. He couldn't beat her. But if she switches parties, there's no way. Northwest Georgia is like rock solid Republican hillbilly country, So there's no way she could switch parties. So that's number one. And then number two, I'm like, look, on things like January 6th, Ukraine, like so many other issues, healthcare. I mean, well, maybe not healthcare, but so many other issues. Greene has not changed her position at all on so many things. That the election was stolen in 2020. Yeah, she's not backing off any of that stuff. So how can you be a Democrat if you? Yeah, I mean, I could see if you're like pro-life. Okay, we could possibly have a pro-life Democrat, but you can't have somebody who thinks January 6th was an FBI operation.
Completely agree with you. That there's no way that's going to happen. Now listen. I'm not really here to give Marjorie Taylor Greene any credibility, because let's be very clear here. She has none. She's a very ignorant woman. And I'm starting to get a little bit upset. And even though I did agree with her this week with this bill, because it affects her family now, I am so sick and tired of people giving Marjorie Taylor Greene way too much credit for wanting the Epstein files to be released. Now, before I play this clip, Leonard, let me help people try to understand why Marjorie Taylor Greene has been a little bit more outspoken lately. Well, I'll tell you why, because it's very simple. What happened, if you recall, is Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate. She desperately wanted Donald Trump's endorsement. It was Donald Trump himself who told her not to run because he didn't think she could win. Since then, we've seen a little bit of a different Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's not because all of a sudden now she has a moral compass.
On a couple of issues.
It's not because she has a moral compass now. Right. It's not because all of a sudden she saw the light. It's because she didn't get what she wanted. Donald Trump wouldn't endorse her. He told her that she couldn't win. And now all of a sudden she wants the Epstein files released. But anyhow, this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene said on CNN earlier today when she was challenged and asked about the Epstein files from Wolf Blitzer on CNN. Have a listen to this.
There's the Jeffrey Epstein files, wanting to release those. I know Democrats have also been calling for that, a few other Republicans as well. The Democrats are accusing Speaker Johnson of delaying the swearing in of Arizona's Democratic Congresswoman-elect because she would give the last vote needed to release those Epstein files. I'm wondering, the Speaker for his part, he has denied that. He said it's because of the shutdown. Have you spoken to him? Do you think she should be sworn in right away?
Well, I'll say it like this. I can't conclusively say if that's why the House is not in session, but the House should be in session. And the House should be in session for many reasons. We have appropriation bills that need to get passed. There is a new Democrat that's been elected that does deserve to be sworn in. Her district elected her. We have other bills that we need to be passing. And if it's to avoid the discharge petition, why drag this out? That is going to have 218 signatures, and so I say go ahead and do it and get it over with.
Let me be very clear by saying the only reason Marjorie Taylor Greene is now speaking out on this issue, whether it comes to the big and beautiful bill, which, by the way, she didn't read, or when it comes to the Epstein files, the only reason why she is speaking out on this, Leonard, is because she didn't get what she wanted from Donald Trump.
Yep.
That's it. You agree with that?
Well, she also, when she brought up the health care, she made it about her family and her daughters. There's no change in philosophy. She didn't say, I think it would be significant if she said, you know what, I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. She never at any point said anything like that. She didn't say this is the right thing to do, and that's why this is best for America. This is best for the medical care. She said, well, it affects my family too. And to me, that's just short-sighted and probably not completely genuine.
That is the Republican Party today. Unless something directly affects them, they don't want to help the American people. I've given time and time again examples of this, and I continue to stand by that.